It grows there if you let it. When I look back, I don't regret the fight. I'm grateful for it. It forced us to face our fears, to break patterns, to rebuild something real. We could have ended that night, walked away wounded and bitter, but we didn't. We stayed, we fought for each other, and in doing so, we found forever. The fight that once threatened to destroy us became the reason we're still standing, stronger, softer, and more in love than ever before. Sometimes, when the night is quiet and I feel your breath against my skin, I think about how close we came to losing us. And then I realize how miraculous it is that we didn't let pride win. We didn't let fear dictate our ending. Instead, we turned our pain into a promise that no matter how hard it gets, we'll always return to each other. That fight was our test, our trial by fire, and we emerged, not unscathed, but reborn. Love isn't about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to dance through it together. You are my calm and my chaos, my lesson and my reward. And every time I hold you now, I feel it deep in my soul, the certainty that forever isn't a fairy tale. It's real. It's ours. It's the life we built from the ashes of one fight that changed everything. The fight that hurt, healed, and finally led us to forever. For the pain that taught us resilience, for the courage we found in defiance. Because now, as I stand beside you, the world feels whole. The shadows have lifted, the noise has faded, and all that remains is peace. He finally let us be, and in doing so, he gave us everything we had been fighting for all along. The chance to love without fear, to live without chains, to simply be free. I often wonder if you ever think of me, even for a fleeting second. If somewhere in the quiet moments of your day, my name drifts through your mind like an old song, I don't hope for regret, but maybe a hint of remembrance. Because even if you've moved on, I hope you know that what we had wasn't capable of forgiveness, wasted. I began to rediscover myself. The version of me that existed before you, yet was forever changed because of you. I learned that loving someone who rejects you doesn't make you weak. It makes you real, painfully human, infinitely. Every touch, every word, every dream, it all mattered. You were a chapter that shaped me, not by your love, but by your leaving. I discovered the beauty of persistence, the courage of vulnerability, and though your rejection hurt more than words can tell, it also freed me from illusions. Love, I realize, doesn't always end with belonging. Sometimes it ends with understanding. I remember the last time I saw you. You smiled, but it wasn't the same. There was distance in your eyes, the kind that comes from a decision long made. I wanted to ask why, but silence felt more honest than any question. So I let you go with grace, even as my heart screamed in protest. Later that night, I stood beneath the stars, and for the first time, I thanked the pain. Because through that heartbreak, I met parts of myself I never knew existed. The part that forgives, the part that still believes in love despite the scars. Rejection had stripped me bare, but in that nakedness, I found truth. Love cannot be measured by its return. It is measured by its purity. The last time we had to prove ourselves. The air between us trembled, with words unsaid, a fragile bridge suspended over doubt and memory. I remember the way your eyes searched mine, not for answers, but for reasons to stay. We were both tired of fighting, of explaining, of holding on to something everyone else doubted. Yet somewhere beneath the exhaustion, there was still that spark, faint but defiant. The world had tested us in every cruel way it could, distance, judgment, pride, and still we kept finding our way back to each other. That night felt like the final test, the last time we'd have to prove that what we had wasn't a dream. I wanted to believe love would be enough, that it could silence every doubt, every whisper, every storm that tried to tear us apart. And so I reached for your hand, trembling but sure, choosing love once more, no matter the cost. You looked at me like I was both your salvation and your undoing. your eyes carrying the weight of every battle we'd fought to stand where we were. The room was quiet, but our hearts were not. They screamed with history, with promises made under starlit skies and broken in daylight. I could feel your hesitation, the part of you that wanted peace, even if it meant letting go. But there was also something else, something wild and unrelenting, a refusal to surrender what we had built from ashes. Love, for us, had never been easy. It had been a war we waged against fear, against doubt, against everyone who said we wouldn't last. And now, here we were again, holding our breath, trying to prove that the fire inside us could survive one more storm. Every word felt like a choice between hope and surrender. You spoke softly, each sentence a careful balance between love and exhaustion. Maybe we've done enough, you whispered, and for a moment my heart forgot how to beat. Enough? The word echoed, cruel and kind at once. Had we done enough? Had we loved enough? Fought enough, endured enough to justify staying? I wanted to scream that love doesn't come with finish lines, that it doesn't stop just because the world grows weary of watching. But instead, I stayed silent, letting the weight of your words sink in. Maybe we were tired of proving ourselves to others, but I wasn't done proving myself to you, because love, real love, demands one last leap even when you're standing on shaking ground. The silence that followed was suffocating, heavy with everything we'd left unsaid. I could hear the soft rhythm of your breathing, steady yet unsure, like a heart torn between staying and fleeing. My own hands trembled as I reached out, not to hold you, but to remind myself you were still real. I traced the air between us, the invisible distance that had grown from misunderstandings and unspoken fears. I wanted to tell you that love was never meant to be proven. It was meant to be lived, felt, trusted. But the truth is, we'd both been shaped by a world that demanded proof of everything. And so, even in love, we'd become soldiers, always defending, always explaining, always fighting for something that should have been ours, without question. That realization broke me in ways words never could. I closed my eyes and saw the past unfold, our laughter, our tears, the promises made when everything felt possible. I saw us dancing in the rain, fearless and alive, before life decided to test the strength of our joy. We were young then, reckless, with hope, believing love could conquer anything. But now, love was quieter, more fragile, shaped by loss and the scars of what we'd endured. And yet, I still wanted it. I wanted you.